Hey, what is going on, guys? It's Down here, and today I'm back in our Fortnite video. In today's video, I want to show you guys some very good settings to use and to change that's going to help you reduce the input delay on your controller. So if you feel like everything's super sluggish, everything feels really delayed or slow, definitely stay to the end of the video because these settings are a must change and will help you guys out a lot if everything does feel really slow. And real quick, before I get into the video, I have a Vbuck giveaway. I give away 2,000 V-Bucks every single Friday. So if you guys would like to participate in the next giveaway and win some free V-Bucks, all you guys have to do is to drop a like on this video. Make sure you guys do subscribe to the channel. Hit that notification bell so you guys get notified for every single new upload and when I announce the winners every Friday. And lastly, make sure you guys put down your Xbox gamer tag, your PSN gamer tag, or Epic account down in the comment section below, and you guys will be automatically entered into the giveaway. If you guys would like to support them in the item shop, all you guys have to do is go down to the bottom right, click on support a creator, type in my creator code, which is Young Humor, and you guys will have me added and supported as a creator. And lastly, I'm super excited to announce my new merch. You guys can find it in the link in the description or the pinned comment if you guys are interested. Definitely get a long sleeve t-shirt or a hoodie if you guys like it. And with that being said, let's get right to the video. Alright, so in this video, like I said, I want to show you guys some settings to change that's going to help you reduce the input delay on your controller and make everything feel a lot faster. And of course, if you play on PC, there's going to be a lot more options, but the reason why consoles have so much delay or so much input delay is because of a thing called Vsync. And if you guys don't know what that does, just simply it reduces any sort of screen tearing that you might get. And on console, it's automatically enabled. It's not enabled at all on PC, and you have the option of having it off or on. But the reason why consoles have it is because the only way to reduce or get rid of the screen tearing is if you have to have a either G-Sync or a FreeSync monitor, which the vast majority of people who play on console just won't have. They're either going to be on a TV or maybe perhaps they do have a monitor, but most people aren't, and they would experience massive screen tearing. So that's why if you guys feel like there's a lot of input delay, it's because of the Vsync on the console, which pretty much, in my opinion, is a good thing for most people because otherwise they'd have massive screen tearing, and the only way to not have it would be to have a G-Sync or a FreeSync monitor. So that is just one of the reasons in which everything feels super delayed. And if you guys do play on PC, you're going to notice that it's going to be a lot less input delay if you guys play on wireless versus wired. Kind of doesn't make any sense, but if you guys play on wireless, it is going to be better than playing wired on PC. Also, some other things you can do is you want to make sure that all of your settings are going to be on near or off, because this is going to help you boost your FPS a little bit, which in turn will make everything feel a lot more responsive. So Vsync, that was the thing I was showing before. You can only change this setting if you play on PC. If you play on console, it's automatically on by default, and that's why everything feels so super slow. There obviously can be other differences as well that could add for input delay, but Vsync is probably the number one thing on why consoles do feel so much more delayed as opposed to PC. But having better FPS will make everything feel a lot more responsive and a lot more better. So if you guys do play on PC, you want to make sure you have all your settings on off or low, unless you play on some really high-end PC. My specs are pretty good. I play on a 2070 Super as far as my graphics card, and I still play everything on low, and there are parts of the map where I get 110 FPS or even 120. Happened a couple times on stream, and it's super frustrating to go that low in FPS. But you definitely want to play on everything low as possible. So some other things you can change if you guys play on console, you can definitely change this setting as well, and that's going to be the record replays. Having this setting on is going to cause you to have a little bit of more dips in your FPS because the game is going to constantly be recording your gameplay. So you want to make sure you have this setting off. It doesn't matter if you play on console or PC. It's going to help you a lot when it comes to your FPS because you're not going to have as many FPS spikes or anything like that, just because the game isn't going to be constantly recording your gameplay, which is going to slow it down and affect your FPS. So that's why you want to make sure you have this setting off. Now, as far as the controller settings to make everything feel as responsive as possible, there is a couple of things that you guys definitely want to make sure that you have if you want everything to feel as responsive as you possibly can. So the first thing you want to have is you definitely want to turn your look dampening time off. I do recommend having on a little bit if your long range accuracy is really bad, but if you want everything to feel as responsive as possible, you definitely want to have this setting off. And when it comes to your dead zones, playing on the lowest dead zones you can is going to make everything feel super responsive, because as far as your dead zones, that's just how far you have to travel your analog sticks in order for the movement to register. So playing on a lower dead zone, I would recommend playing as low as you possibly can without having like the craziest stick drift ever. So you want to make sure you play on as low dead zones as you can, because that's going to make everything feel a lot more responsive as of playing on a high dead zone. And of course, you want to make sure you have the enable foot controller setting. You want to have that off because it adds extra input delay to your controller. So you want to make sure you have that setting off as well. So as low dead zones as possible, no look dampening time, and you also want to make sure you have the foot controller setting on the off, just because it adds extra input delay specifically to your controller. So those are going to be the main controller settings you want to change. There's also one more important setting that I want to show you guys as well, that you guys definitely should make a change as well, that I think is going to make everything feel a lot better and a lot more fast. But as far as the controller options, those are the main things you want to change. And it's a lot more tricky because on console, there really isn't too much you can do as far as improving your input delay, but there is a couple of things in your settings to make everything a lot more responsive. And those things that I mentioned, those are the things you guys want to change, because on PC you have a lot more options, like playing on wireless versus wired is going to help, making sure you don't play on Vsync and getting a FreeSync monitor, and also increasing your FPS is going to make everything feel more responsive. So there is a lot more you can do on PC, but the settings that I showed you, for those of you guys who play on console, you want to make sure you definitely change those to the best of your abilities. I know with dead zones it can be a little bit more tricky, because if you lower it too much, you're going to have a lot of stick drift, and that it could be bad in and of itself. And also another setting you can change that might actually make a huge difference. So for those of you guys who play on a PS4 controller, I actually do like the Xbox One controller platform a lot better. Now, when you change in between the Xbox One and the PS4 one, they do feel vastly different. And with the PS4 one, as I've noticed, if you play on Xbox, you can switch to PS4, and if you play on PS4, you can switch to Xbox. It doesn't matter what controller you have, you can switch in between both of them, however you like. But with the Xbox One, it definitely feels a lot more smooth. The PS4 one feels a little bit more rigid and a little bit more stiff, which I don't know, it could actually help a little bit more with aim. But I feel like if you want to have everything feel really smooth, I would recommend playing on the Xbox configuration. So if you guys play with the PS4 controller, I would recommend giving it a try. I think it's really nice. I think it's very good. As far as building and editing, everything feels super smooth and super fast. And even though I've tried out both of them, I do recommend playing on the Xbox controller configuration, just because it makes everything feel 10 times as smooth. I would definitely recommend giving both of those out a try, because maybe you play on Xbox and you think the PS4 configuration feels better. And like I said, it doesn't matter what controller you play on, you're able to switch in between the two and get the full benefits. So you definitely want to give those a look, and maybe it could actually improve how everything feels, could make everything feel a lot more responsive. And if you play on PC, you definitely have more options. Like for instance, if you play on Bluetooth versus wireless, you have a lower input delay. And obviously it bases on what Bluetooth device you use. But for me, I have a lower input delay on my controller on Bluetooth than when I use the wired connection for my controller. And for those of you guys who play PC with controller, what you want to do is down in my pinned comment, I'm going to have a link you can go to, and this is how to overclock your controller to make everything as responsive as possible. And so what you want to do is go down to down to my pinned comment, click on that link, it's going to come to here, and then you want to download exactly what I'm showing you. You click the download, and once you do that, you click show in Finder or just open. All you do is you open this file. You just want to extract all these files to your desktop. You don't have to buy anything for the WinRAR. Then all you do is extract. You just highlight everything, and then you put extract to, and you can put it to desktop. You can put whatever to you want, but it's just easier if you put it on your desktop so you can see where all the files are. And once you do, you're going to hit OK. And once you hit OK, for me, I already had all the files already saved on my computer. And you can see that because all the messages are coming up saying you already have this file. And I'm just hitting yes through all of them. So I pretty much just duplicated everything, and it doesn't matter. You just hit it. And once you do that, you want to go to your file. This is the file here. You click on that file, and what you want to do is this thing's going to come up. You want to go down to the setup location on this file, and obviously you can make a new folder for this because it's going to show up in like 5 different things. So you can hit new folder, throw everything into the folder, and then everything is going to show up in this folder in this order, and then you want to go down towards the bottom on setup. You click on setup, and then you go up to the top. It says mice. You want to click on all so you can see all the commands for everything, and you want to go to the one that says wireless controller. And now I already have mine overclocked, so that's why it says the 1000. And so yours is probably going to say like default, and then the number next to it's going to be like a 4 or 5. So what you want to do is, so you want to have your controller wired into your computer, and once you do that, you want to click on the number, then you click install devices, and once you click install devices, then what you want to go do is go over to the filter on device while still having this highlighted. Then you want to go to where the drop down menu is, click on 1000. Then what you want to do is, the last thing you have to do is just unplug your controller, and then you plug it back in, and it should work just fine. And you know it works when you plug it back in and it still says 1000 next to the wireless controller. Then that's how you know you have your controller overclocked. This makes everything super responsive, and if you ever have any problems with this, you can obviously just not use it, but I've had no problems. It's worked very well, and everything felt a lot more responsive and a lot better. So the settings that I showed you are pretty much every single setting that you're going to be able to change that is going to help you feel a lot more faster, and hopefully it makes it give the feel that it has less input delay. So definitely change those settings that I showed you in this video. I guarantee it will be a huge help if you guys haven't done any of them. Like if you haven't turned off the replays, that can definitely help your FPS, because playing on more FPS will make, it doesn't actually reduce your input delay, but it gives you a lot more feel over your crosshair, which is going to be very beneficial when it comes to editing and specifically aiming, because you're going to have a lot more control over your aim, and everything's going to feel a lot better. Even if you do have the same input delay, it's going to give the illusion, it's just going to make it feel a lot better. Same with lowering your dead zones. It's going to make everything feel a lot more responsive and a lot better to use in games. So when you're playing against other players in pubs, arena, or box fights, you're going to feel a lot more control over your gun and your crosshair, which is going to be a huge help, and it's going to get you a lot more wins. But with that being said, that's wrap it up for this video. If you guys enjoyed this video, if you found this video helpful, make sure you guys do drop a like. Make sure you guys do subscribe to the channel if you guys haven't already. Make sure you guys do hit that notification bell so you guys get notified for every single new video. And as well, I do live stream every single day here on this channel at 4:30 Eastern Standard Time. So make sure you guys come by my live streams if you guys haven't already. Like I said, 4:30 Eastern Standard Time. Just hit that notification bell so you guys get notified when I go live. But with that being said, I appreciate you guys watching the video, and alright guys, I will see you next video.